All right, so how we've been talking about all these, the ways that we interact with each other.
Uh-huh.
Well, today I think we should dive into something that's probably like crossed your mind at least once or twice lately,
Okay.
and that is greetings.
Ah.
Right? Like, remember handshakes?
Oh,
Are
yeah.
they gone forever?
Mm-hmm.
What about the rise of like the bro hug?
Yeah.
And what happens when you're stuck somewhere in between?
Right.
Wondering, like, do I stick out a hand? Do I go in for a hug? Do I just wave awkwardly?
Exactly.
So today we are unpacking all of that and more
Okay.
with some insights from an article called,
All right.
now guess this, the article is called Text Paste Journeyo
Wow.
by Phoebe Lockhurst,
Okay.
which delves into the history and future of human interaction.
That's pretty fascinating how much, this seemingly simple act of greeting
Yeah.
is like intertwined with history and culture
Right.
and even subtle power dynamics.
Absolutely. So let's just start with the handshake.
Okay.
It's not a new invention, right?
No, not at all. Like, think back to ancient Greece
Mm-hmm.
or medieval knights.
Okay.
The handshake emerged as a way to demonstrate that you weren't concealing a weapon,
Okay.
a way of building trust
Right.
in potentially hostile situations.
So it was more than just like a polite gesture.
Yeah.
It was a way of saying, hey, I come in peace.
Well,
Let's
right,
talk.
exactly.
Yeah.
But even then, the details mattered.
Oh, really?
Lockhurst points out etiquette expert William Hanson,
Okay.
and he emphasizes the nuances of a proper handshake,
Okay.
a firm grip,
Uh-huh.
direct eye contact,
Mm.
the right amount of pressure.
Okay.
All of these elements contribute to the overall impression you make.
There's actually a pretty funny anecdote in the article
Yeah.
about someone from Harper's Bazaar having to endure a limp handshake.
Oh, no.
Hansen suggests that a weak handshake is often perceived as a sign of weakness in general.
That's interesting because this links back to a Harvard study.
Uh-huh.
That was mentioned in the article, which found that first impressions are formed incredibly quickly,
Right.
often within the first few seconds
Like that.
of an encounter.
Yeah.
Those initial moments can have a lasting impact on how someone perceives you.
I could definitely relate to that feeling of pressure to make a good first impression,
Right.
especially in a professional setting.
Oh, yeah.
But is a handshake always the best approach?
Well, that's where cultural context comes into play.
Okay.
While a firm handshake might be widely accepted in some cultures,
Uh-huh.
it could be considered inappropriate or even offensive in others.
Mhm.
For instance, bowing is the customary greeting in Japan,
Right?
while in India, the namaste gesture takes center stage.
That's a good point in our increasingly globalized world.
Right.
Understanding these cultural differences is more important than ever.
Absolutely. And this is where things get particularly intriguing.
Okay.
Because the modern handshake seems to be facing an identity crisis.
So did COVID-19 deliver the final blow? Is the handshake going the way of the dodo?
Well, Lockhurst cites etiquette advisor Liz Wise,
Okay.
who suggests that the pandemic threw us into a state of physical contact limbo.
Okay.
We went from handshakes being completely taboo
Right.
to this strange in-between phase
Uh-huh.
where many people are still unsure about appropriate physical contact.
And filling that void, at least in some circles, is the infamous bro hug.
Yeah.
But how did this seemingly informal greeting become so widespread?
Right.
It used to be pretty niche, mostly associated with like athletes and Hollywood types.
Well, if you connect the dots, it's not entirely surprising.
Okay.
Social media has played a role in breaking down traditional barriers,
Uh-huh.
leading to a more casual, informal approach to communication.
Right.
In this new landscape, the handshake can feel stiff, outdated,
Yeah.
even a bit awkward.
It's definitely a different vibe, but this shift towards informality
Yeah.
creates challenges, especially in the workplace.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
In some cultures, a kiss on the cheek is the norm,
Uh-huh.
but in others, it would be considered completely inappropriate.
Right.
And fist bumps,
Yeah.
they just don't seem to fit in certain professional settings.
This awkward blend of greetings is what Hansen refers to as
What's he call it?
affinity awkward British laughter.
Affinity awkward British laughter?
It's that feeling of discomfort and uncertainty
Right.
when you're not quite sure what the appropriate greeting is.
I think we've all been there. I could practically hear that awkward laughter echoing in my head.
For sure.
But it's not just about cultural differences, is it?
No,
There's also a generational divide at play here.
you're absolutely right.
Younger generations have grown up with the bro hug,
Uh-huh.
while older generations often stick to the traditional handshake.
Right.
Those of us caught in the middle are left trying to navigate this evolving landscape of greetings. So what does it all mean for the future of human interaction?
Mm.
Are we doomed to a world of awkward encounters and social faux pas?
Not necessarily. I think a key takeaway here is the importance of adaptability and reading social cues.
So rather than clinging to one right way of greeting,
Yeah.
We need to be more attuned to the context, the culture, and the individual we're interacting with.
Exactly. Being mindful, observant, and flexible is essential in navigating this evolving world of greetings.
Right.
But there's another aspect to this that's worth exploring.
Okay, so it sounds like we're talking about more than just physical gestures here.
Yeah,
It's about, like, understanding the deeper meaning
right.
behind these greetings and how they shape our interactions.
Precisely. And that deeper meaning, like, goes way back.
Hmm.
Remember those medieval knights we talked about?
Yeah.
Their handshakes weren't just about proving they were unarmed.
Okay.
They were also about establishing a sense of equality
Right.
and mutual respect.
Hmm.
It was a way of signaling we're on equal footing here.
So even back then, there were layers of social significance
Oh, yeah.
embedded in these greetings.
Absolutely. Even seemingly minor details.
Okay.
Like who initiated the handshake
Uh-huh.
or how firm the grip was
Right.
could convey subtle messages about power and social standing.
It makes you wonder if we're still, like, subconsciously
Right.
picking up on those subtle cues today,
Yeah.
even if we're not fully aware of it.
I think there's a good chance of that.
Yeah.
We're wired to read body language and interpret social signals,
Right.
even if those signals have evolved over time.
Right.
It's fascinating to think about how these ancient traditions
Yeah.
might still be influencing our modern interactions.
So are we saying that greetings are basically a form of nonverbal communication that's been evolving for centuries?
You could definitely argue that.
Okay.
And as with any form of communication,
Right.
there's always the potential for misinterpretation or awkwardness.
For sure.
But that doesn't mean we're destined for a future of constant social faux pas.
So how do we navigate this complex world of greetings
Yeah.
without constantly second-guessing ourselves?
Yeah. I think the key lies in what we might call mindful greeting.
Mindful greeting.
It's about being present in the moment,
Okay.
paying attention to the other person's cues,
Uh-huh.
and choosing a greeting that feels appropriate and respectful for
Right.
that specific situation.
So ditching the robotic handshake
Hmm.
or the overly enthusiastic bro hug
Right.
and focusing on making a genuine connection in the dead.
Exactly. It's about conveying a warmth, sincerity, and respect.
Yeah.
Whether you're greeting a close friend, a colleague,
Yeah.
or someone you've just met.
This reminds me of something Hansen mentioned
Oh, yeah.
about a successful handshake actually starting with a confident approach
Uh-huh.
and a genuine smile.
Right.
It's about more than just the physical gesture itself.
Yes, he emphasizes the importance of making eye contact,
Okay.
extending your hand decisively,
Uh-huh.
but also stopping at a comfortable distance.
Right.
It's about respecting personal space
Yeah.
while also conveying a sense of openness.
It sounds like it's that combination of confidence and respect
Uh-huh.
that really makes a difference.
Because ultimately, a greeting is about more than just a physical action. It's
Right.
about acknowledging another person's presence,
Right.
showing them respect, and setting the tone
Yeah.
for the interaction that follows.
And that initial interaction, those first few seconds,
Right.
can really have a ripple effect.
Absolutely. A well-executed greeting can open doors,
Uh-huh.
build rapport, and even lead to unexpected moments of connection.
Yeah.
It's a reminder that even in our increasingly digital world,
Right.
human connection is still at the heart of everything we do.
That's a great point. But let's be realistic.
Yeah.
There will always be those moments of awkwardness,
Right.
those fumbled greetings that leave us cringing inwardly.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, oh no.
We're all human, and social interactions can be messy and unpredictable.
For sure.
But the key is to not let those awkward moments define us.
To embrace the imperfections, learn from our missteps,
Yeah,
and keep striving for those genuine connections that make life more meaningful.
exactly. And a little humor can go a long way in diffusing those awkward situations.
Right.
After all, who hasn't had a good laugh at themselves after a particularly cringeworthy greeting?
Definitely been there. It's all part of being human.
Yeah.
But as we move forward, I think it's important to keep an open mind
Uh-huh.
about new ways of greeting,
Yeah.
new ways of connecting
Right.
that feels authentic and meaningful to us.
I agree. Instead of clinging to outdated norms
Yeah,
or blindly following trends,
right,
maybe it's about creating a culture of mindful greeting
right.
where we approach each interaction with intention, respect,
Yeah,
and a genuine desire to connect.
that's a great way to put it.
Yeah,
Well, this has been a fascinating deep dive into the intricacies of greetings.
it has.
But before we wrap things up,
Okay.
I'm curious to hear your thoughts on what the future of greetings might look like. Any predictions?
That's a great question. And while I don't have a crystal ball,
Okay.
I think the future of greetings will likely involve, well, a blend of adaptability, authenticity, and perhaps a touch of playfulness.
Playfulness. I like the sound of that.
Tell me more.
Okay,
Well, think about it. We've become so focused on the rules and anxieties surrounding greetings
right.
that we've forgotten to have fun with them.
Oh,
A greeting can be an opportunity to express our personalities,
uh-huh.
get creative, and maybe even make someone smile.
So less rigid formality
Right.
and more, hey, let's make this interaction enjoyable.
Exactly. It could be a unique handshake, a silly dance move, or even a personalized greeting.
Okay.
That reflects a shared interest.
I'm picturing a world where instead of the standard handshake, we're exchanging secret handshakes,
Yeah.
high fives with elaborate backstories,
Right.
or even greeting each other with a line from our favorite movies.
Now you're getting, it's about injecting a bit of joy and personality
Yeah.
into those first encounters.
And maybe even a little surprise.
Uh-huh.
I love the idea of catching someone off guard
Yeah.
with a greeting that's unexpected and delightful.
It's those little moments of delight that can really make a difference.
Right.
It shows you're paying attention,
Yeah.
you're thinking outside the box, and you're genuinely interested in connecting
Okay.
on a deeper level.
So it's not just about saying hello.
Right.
It's about saying, hey, I see you, I appreciate you,
Yeah.
and I'm open to whatever this interaction may bring.
Beautifully said. And who knows, maybe this evolution of greetings will lead to a whole new era of human connection.
Right?
One that's more authentic, more expressive, and a lot more fun.
I'm definitely on board with that.
Yeah.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into the fascinating world of greetings, I want to leave our listeners with a challenge.
All right.
The next time you greet someone, don't just go through the motions.
Yeah.
Think about the message you want to convey, the feeling you want to create.
And don't be afraid to get a creative step outside your comfort zone and make it memorable.
Because in the end, a greeting is more than just a gesture.
It is.
It's a chance to spark a connection, spread a little joy, and make the world a slightly brighter place.
And that's a pretty powerful thing.
Thanks for joining us on this journey into the ever-evolving world of greeting.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Until next time, stay curious and keep connecting.